Hi, my name's Ashley, and in 2018 I went for a walk. A 2,500 mile walk across Eastern Europe, from the wild woodlands of Hungary to the warm waters of the Mediterranean. This is my adventure. So far I'd walked across both Hungary and Romania, and Bulgaria would be next. My meandering route would visit 3 epic mountain ranges, but first a road walk would take me from the banks of the Danube to the foot of the Balkan Mountains. The E3 footpath and Bulgarian Komamini trail would eventually bring me to the capital city of Sofia, where I would turn south, rejoining the E4 trail over Sofia's very own peak Vitosha, through the literal tourist trail and monastery of the Rila Mountains, and finally to the giant alpine peaks and knife-edge ridge of the Pirin. I'd spent days and days walking along busy roads in Hungary and Romania, and another 8 days of road walking lay between me and the Balkan Mountains. While there were sometimes nice views from the roadside, I was becoming more and more tired of the long distances on hard ground, being baked alive by the sizzling heat, and having to dodge fast, heavy trucks all day. The great citadel in the centre of Veliko Tarnovo was once the capital of the Second Bulgarian Empire, a medieval state which included parts of present-day Romania, Serbia and Greece. Finally on a trail again. Been on road since I left the Bucaj in Romania. It's probably like 2 or 3 weeks of road walking. I'm heading up this hill, going up to Shipka Pass now. And here is the geographic centre of Bulgaria. Balkan Mountains stretch across almost the entire width of Bulgaria, and as a result their passes have been important battlefields in wars fought on the Balkan Peninsula. The Arch of Freedom stands as memorial to the Bulgarians and Russians who died here, both in the Second World War and the Russian-Turkish War. It's my last day on the E3, the Com and Amini trail, and I'm back below the tree line. It's been a great few days up on the ridge, but now I've got another 7 miles to this pass and then a long road walk into Sofia, and then I've got some amazing mountains to come after that, so can't wait. Sofia was an important Roman and Byzantine city, and the ruins of this ancient metropolis can be found around every street corner. I like that in Sofia you could find a 1950s Stalinist structure wrapped around a church built in the 4th century among the ruins of an even older city. Soon it was time to leave Sofia behind and head for Vitosha, the 2,290 metre peak on the edge of the city. I was now back on the E4 footpath, having taken my own route through Romania and northern Bulgaria. Out in your parents' pool, the water's freezing, it was September. I think I know you. I was here before it started, so it's all around you now, you're coming back. I'm on top of Mount Vitosha above Sofia, and it is a lovely day. You want that glimmer, I should have told you that. Now more than ever, the broken pieces fit, scars and confetti. Well, that's where I'm heading next, the Rila Mountains and the 7 lakes. I'm knackered already. Fighting like Gandhi, when all the lines are down, you dream of flying along the Ziders. The sky was yellow, I still remember. Think I know you. I was had a really scary encounter. I was passing some shepherd's huts, I guess, and there was some cows out there, and the next thing I knew, 3 dogs came at me. And one of them, this black thing, was like proper kind of going for me, teeth bared, and the biting the end of my pole. Usually there's someone around who can call the dogs off, but it doesn't seem like there's anyone there, and they just let the dogs run where they want. So I don't know, this is the only trail up to where I need to go, into the Rila. So I don't know, I'm walking back down this track, you know. Because I'm a massive wimp, I spent another day walking on roads to reach the trail from a different direction.
I think we all get lost from time to time, not completely sure how to move forward. Wrapped up in the fear of losing everything and having nothing to show for our time on this earth. Like, did we live? Were we more than drawing breath? Taken from the depths, were we present for each step, or were we elsewhere? Were we too lost in our own minds to witness our own lives, and to take note of the open skies, or did we just wait to die? There are a whole lot of sights I'd like to see before I clock out. I still wanna walk across America to make my pops proud. There still a fuck down these demons I need to knock out, to break bread with. I still can't decide which, and maybe I don't have to. Maybe I just won't ask you. Maybe I'll go my own way and let you have your path too. Maybe we'll both be better for it. Maybe we'll both write chapters unrelated from the prolonged prologues that came in the absence of a better story to tell. It's basically my definition of hell. Days filled with regret when we know there's so much else on the other side of the sphere that just cripples and overwhelms. Will any of us ever learn to be ourselves? Cause the world needs more of us to go and stake our claims in the parts of our souls that when I settle for the mundane, the portions of our minds that see hope in the change, in the pieces of our hearts unguided by shame. Don't let these days drift away now. Grasp them at the depth before they fade ya. Be still, let the silence break us. Drink deeply from life, don't be afraid of. Don't let these days drift away now. Grasp them at the depth before they fade ya. Be still, let the silence break us. Don't fear, let love change us. How many of us work, had a job we fucking hate? How many of us wish that we had more time to create? How many would rather be awake than forced to sedate ourselves? Because we fear if we don't, we'll suffocate from the pain and the ache that lets us know that we've betrayed ourselves and our creation by the way we fucking waste time, money, and energy like every fucking day while these moments slip away.
No people.
See, I told myself that if I ever got to this point, I would sell all my possessions so that I could avoid this timeless trap.
Yeah, that was Rila Lakes. 7 Rila Lakes. I don't think I've seen so many people before on a mountain trail. Thank you, Nick.
The beauty we could have lived in. Don't let these days drift away now. Grasp them at the depth before they fade ya. Be still, let the silence break us. Drink deeply from life, don't be afraid of. Don't let these days drift away now. Grasp them at the depth before they fade ya. Be still, let the silence break us. Don't fear, let love change.
Rila Monastery is another tourist hotspot. In the day you won't be able to move for all the people, but if you spend the night here, the crowds will leave and you'll get the peace, the quiet and the building to yourself. Of course, the downside to spending the night in Rila Monastery, it's the 1,000 metre climb back up onto the mountain ridge. This is where I stayed last night. Scary lake, little hut. It's about 2,400 and something metres. Really nice. could be wrong, but I think that big peak right ahead is Musala, which is just shy of 3,000 metres. I'm not sure what the actual height is now. And it's not just the highest peak in Bulgaria, but it's the highest peak on the entire Balkan Peninsula. So yeah, it's not on my route though, which is a shame. But maybe I'll be back here one day to do it. Yeah, I'm descending down now to the Predel Pass. We've got another like 1,500 metres of descent and 10 miles to do. But the Predel Pass separates the Rila range from the Pirin range. We've got a lovely view of them right now, Pirin. We just look like a wall of rock. So yeah, looking forward to that. I've loved the Rila. It's been beautiful. Right, so it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, which is quite early for me. Usually I'm really lazy to get up, hence why there's not many shots of sunrise in these videos. I'm on my way climbing up to Concetto, which is this like really awesome knife ridge edge at about 2,800 metres.
It's hard, I know what I became. A ghost living along the bridge. If I only succeed to spell your name. Don't forget the time where you used to be like this, but it's all off my way. And the thought to my life, a wink to my wife, the power of a goodbye is not enough. It's hard to feel weird, feel weird. Soaring space, place where we've grown, coming back where I came. Soaring space,
This big monster in front of me is Veren, and it's the second highest mountain in Bulgaria, at like 2,900 and something metres, and a little, it looks like a patch of snow just below it, but that's actually the most southern glacier in Europe. Yeah, very small glacier, but yeah, it's smart up here.
It's hard, you know what I became. a little bit of softness for you and me. It's hard to feel weird.
I think that if you're a hiker, especially a European hiker, and Bulgaria isn't on your list of hiking destinations, then I think it really should be, because this is the third Bulgarian mountain range I've been through, the Pirin, and just wow, all three ranges have just been incredible.
Soaring space and vulnerable hate. Let me see you after time. Love, amen. Climbing my fear. I sail through waves. Oh, my dear. It's hard to feel weird. Hard to feel weird. Feel weird.
Just come down from this, it's kind of that little like a chip in the ridgeline, and I came through there. That was the mountain pass, and now I'm in this amazing valley. It's gorgeous, quite a few cows around, but it's just beautiful. I'm really loving Bulgaria, especially the Pirin Mountains. Beautiful. I descended out of the Pirin into the Melnik sand pyramids, a mind-boggling area which reminded me of old Super Mario games. In Melnik I met with a friend for a couple of days. My plan was to use roads to walk to Thessaloniki, but I found out it was more of a motorway, way too dangerous for walking on. My 5 weeks in the Bulgarian mountains had made me love the walk again, and the thought of spending another 4 days on hard ground with heavy trucks roaring past and the sizzling heat baking me alive was exhausting. Of course, by taking the bus, my walk across Europe would no longer be unbroken, but that was a price I was willing to pay. But as I crossed the border into Greece, I had no idea the hardest weeks were just ahead, and that this wouldn't be my only journey by bus. But I'll tell you about that in the next episode.